Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Lunch Break with ATI. I'm Cindy Collins, one of the co-founders of Actors Theater of Indiana, the resident professional theater company at the Center for the Performing Arts in Carmel, Indiana, good old USA. And today I have on two fantastic people.
Hey, Cindy.
Hi, Brian and Maggie Kelly. And they're awesome. And actually, Brian and Maggie are going to be modeling
Yes, we will. Yes.
some of past ATI's costumes for the fundraiser that is coming up on January 26th at Bash. Bash is, I think it was an Italian restaurant.
Yes, I
Over there,
remember
is that
yes.
right?
Merchant Square.
And
right.
it's in Merchant Square. It looks like a really, really nice place.
Yeah. Never
now-
been, but looking
Haven't
forward
been
to
there.
it.
Looking
Right,
forward to our
right.
first visit.
But
there.
now they're like still a restaurant, but they do events too.
Correct.
And it's it's not huge. It's kind of a nice 26th. And it's ATI did this about it is at least 5 years ago now.
Been that long?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know it was
Yes.
pre-COVID.
It absolutely
yeah.
it was pre-COVID. So
And it was a blast.
it was
was.
fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was so you have different local personalities dressing up in past ATI costumes, and it's fun, you know. So there's about I think 25 of you that are going to be wearing different costumes. I won't say what these two are going to be wearing.
Got to buy tickets to see.
But you have
Right?
to get the tickets, right? You have to get the tickets to come, and you can just go on the ATI website, atistage.org, to see where to get your tickets. I think it's through Eventbrite. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, just go to the website and you can get those tickets. Reserve a ticket, reserve a table. You know. So, but I think it's going to be a really fun evening, and so it's it's cocktails and dinner, and then the modeling show.
And to strut your stuff.
And we're not
Yes.
saying,
Yeah.
don't even say. Last time, though, the last time you did it, and it's comedy, costumes, and cocktails. I always get the name wrong, but it's, right, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Co-
I
co-
think that's it.
Or right,
Comedy,
I know, all
costumes.
three of us were like cocktails,
so.
comedy,
Yeah.
costumes.
It's one
But
of the
it-
most
But it's very
fun.
But it's all three of those
Fundraiser, yeah.
things, no matter what
It's
the
fantastic.
order.
It
No matter,
really
right,
is.
no matter what the
And it's
order
very
is. those things.
relaxing.
Yeah, it's just a nice, relaxing, fun evening.
Good food.
Yeah, I think that place is probably pretty good. And but the last time we did it, you two were Sweeney Todd and Mrs. Lovett,
Yes.
right? But you're going to be something different,
Yes,
of
Yes.
course.
We won't say what.
No, but you're going to be doing
But
something
I
different this
promise.
We won't have a
time.
razor in hand.
I do
No.
promise we won't threaten people's lives if they do not meet our donation
That's right.
limitations.
You don't have any kind
We
of rolling
promise.
pin
This year we will not do that.
Yeah.
or razor in your hand.
That was so
Nope.
much fun.
Yeah, no meat cleavers this year.
No cleavers, no razors, and no big,
Yeah.
Threats.
oh my God, rolling pins.
Yeah.
We promise we will not make you part of next week's meat.
Oh my
special.
God.
Yeah.
Be putting a,
Promise. Not
we'll
this
be
year.
putting a
Not
pie.
this year. Not this year. Not this year.
Oh my God. So anyway, check that out. That's
I think it's a week.
Yeah,
from
week from
Friday.
this
just
Friday.
goes so fast.
from
I know.
Friday.
I'm like,
It
oh
does, yeah.
my gosh. So check that out and come over to Bash and help a professional arts organization in Carmel stay active, stay alive, stay here. Because it's very important to keep the arts alive in Carmel, and it's very important to keep the arts alive in the entire country. So, all right, so that is my plug for that. Now, on to more important things, you two. So, Brian, you were with Current, you're retired now.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to tell me, you were one of the founders, wasn't you and Steve Greenberg?
Yes. We founded it back in
2006?
2006. What a
Yeah.
memory.
Good memory.
man.
Well,
I'm impressed.
because we got here from New York in 2005, and I remember in
Okay.
2006 we started working with Dennis O'Malia. It
Right.
was Judy and I actually.
Dennis is still there?
Started, yes, he is, and he'll be at the fundraiser too.
That's right. He's
gonna be
oh,
modeling
I
him
can't-
and his lovely wife Jill O'Malia,
Who was an actress.
Miss Indiana.
Yes.
Was a Miss Indiana. I always say that because I get such a kick out of that.
Yeah. Worth the price of the ticket.
Oh gosh,
Nothing else.
she's a tall drink
Yeah.
of water, and
Yeah.
and Dennis is just a big goofball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
And
hilarious.
he's hysterical. So a great guy. They're
Really
both
is.
wonderful people. But yeah, we started like working with Dennis on ads and advertisement and stuff like
And we
that.
created this big partnership. and
Gosh,
it's
and
been
then,
a
and then
great
you guys
one.
expanded, and it's like now it's like current everywhere. Current and
Yeah, we
Good
started in
Lord.
Carmel
Yeah.
in '06, and then about a year and a half later, we launched into Westfield. Then another, and I lose
Zionsville was
track.
pretty early too.
Yeah, then next we went into Noblesville,
Okay.
then Fishers,
Okay.
then Zionsville,
Okay.
and then in the Geist-Lawrence area.
Is it in
So
Cicero
there were
yet?
6.
No,
No,
no.
not yet.
Those
Oh, it's that where you live.
lousy Cicero. Come on, Cicero.
In time. So it's been a lot of fun, and the current ATI partnership's just been
Yeah,
great.
it's been for a pretty long time.
Because when Steve and I launched the paper, Maggie remembers this, because Maggie, she kept the books, so she was a big
I was a number
reason
person.
why
God,
it kept
yeah,
us
not
on the
easy.
straight and narrow all these years.
Right.
Excuse me. We dedicated ourselves to supporting the arts.
Yeah.
It was very important to us, and we realized ATI, I think, was one of our very first
I think so
arts
too.
partnerships.
Yeah, I think
Because
so
that,
too.
like you said, it goes back to about '06 or so.
I know.
And it helps us support the arts here because it's very important. It's important for the community.
Yeah, I agree.
All these communities here.
Yeah. I
Not to
know.
mention, you guys put on fantastic shows.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
Never disappoint.
top quality,
Yeah, thanks.
professional.
Yeah, yeah. To tell you the truth.
A very intimate space, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and the studio
Right.
theater is really, it makes it a little different. It's nice and intimate. You're,
Yes.
like sometimes you're this close to the
Yes,
actor. You
Yeah.
can see the sweat, the spit.
A lot of times you actually incorporate people in the audience. As part of the show.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes
It is a
without
great
warning.
experience. It really
Certain
is.
shows that
Yes.
does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But-
ATI is a
Fun
key
time.
piece of the whole Center for the Performing Arts.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's and it's critical that we all support it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. You know, I think it's important to support the entire center too. You know, one company falls off and it's not good for anybody. Is
No,
what I always
you're
thought.
correct.
You know, because there's such a variety there, and if somebody goes under, eesh, that's like one less company there, one less space used.
Right.
It's not good. Having people there, having it alive all the time is very important. You know,
Yes,
I
correct.
think.
That
I
is
think
very
having
true.
a place vibrant and active
Right.
in those theater spaces, as much as possible, is really important for a center for the performing arts.
Sure.
Right, there's a
Right.
synergy there between all the groups.
That's
Very-
it.
there's a
Sure.
very
That's
good
it.
synergy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And this is what the
everybody.
community wants.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why people want to move here.
And the variety. The variety's nice.
Yeah, that's what I say, the variety.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Carmel's, yeah, I do. I think, I live in Carmel. I'm a resident. You know, I vote, I pay taxes. I'm a citizen of Carmel. So it is I do have to say, it is a nice place to live.
It
you
is.
know.
I tell people that all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it here. Yeah.
Because it's coming from this
Yeah,
east.
you lived
Coming
in
from
New York for
to,
a long time.
went to New Jersey native, coming from theater companies, of course. But living here, it's different.
Yes.
It's totally different than going and working and doing a gig
Mm-hmm.
than you're setting down your roots and you're living somewhere.
Right.
You
Big
know,
difference.
Yeah.
and I was like, well, it's the only place I probably want to live in Indiana.
Yeah.
You know.
And I remember meeting someone from New York,
Yeah.
lived in New York City for years, and he had just moved here, job transfer. And I asked him, of course, kind of begs the question, so what do you think of Carmel? Do you like it? And he says he just absolutely loves it. And he says, in particular, I love the civility here.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very
Yeah,
key
that's
word.
nice. Yeah.
And he says,
Yeah.
I walk my dog in the morning and I say good morning to someone. They say good morning back, ask me how I'm doing. And he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
he just loves it.
That's nice. That's good. That's good. It's good testimonials for the
Yeah.
city. You know.
And that's why we keep going.
Yeah. So now, okay. So what's happening? You're retired. What are you guys doing?
As little as we can.
Yes, that's partly
We got a lot of
true.
sleep to catch up on. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We're actually discovering a lot of Indiana. I mean, we lived here for decades, but we never really had a chance to visit all the small towns.
Yeah.
The state has a lot of fun little towns to visit, a lot of history to visit, and
Yeah.
so we're doing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
friends of ours
That's true.
called us about, hey, the weather's supposed to be nice in Louisville, was it? I can't remember. Anyway, let's go down
Lexington.
there. And Lexington, that's right. So we could bet on the
well, that's
horses and
cool.
stuff.
Right, yeah.
And so.
Oh, that's beautiful around
So we
there.
kind of
Yes, it
looked
is
at each
beautiful.
other. It's like, yeah,
We
let's
can
do
do
that.
that.
And we just had a ball.
Yeah.
We never had a life prior to this. It was work.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, where, now, wait, you were in Cincinnati?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're both from
We
Cincinnati.
both grew up in
Both
Cincinnati,
grew up
but
in
met
Cincinnati.
here.
Where we met up here.
So what, okay, you were in newspapers. Wait.
Yeah,
what did
I've
you-
always been in publishing.
Right, but weren't you in radio too, or
No.
never?
No, I was in
Oh,
I had the
in
marketing.
face radio,
newspaper.
but yeah, no,
I was marketing and advertising. My background is
Go.
actually marketing and advertising.
Okay.
I taught myself accounting for the business.
Okay, okay,
I worked for advertising agencies.
Yeah.
You might him confuse with me because yes, I dealt a lot with helping.
yeah,
Cincinnati,
maybe, right.
making
Right.
sure commercials got built and on the
Okay.
air and stuff. So yeah.
Cincinnati's pretty lively.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great city.
My whole family's still there. His isn't. So we go back quite
Do
a
you?
bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of culture there.
I think
Yeah, a
so,
lot of
yeah.
theater.
Well,
And I
German culture.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I mean, my parents took us to a lot of, I mean, from theater, I mean, the opera even.
Yeah.
And my parents always
Wow.
said, you don't have to like it,
Right,
but you have to experience it.
right, I agree.
And I
you know.
appreciate that
That's
they
right.
did that.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You don't have to like it, but you have to
Right.
be knowledgeable. It's important to be knowledgeable of it.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not really, you know, you could say, well, I'm not really into I'm not really into that style. I'm not really into that genre, right?
Mhm.
But you have to. I don't listen to opera,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
But there's no
Mhm.
way you don't appreciate it
Yes.
and appreciate the craft and appreciate the work that goes into it. I
Sure.
mean, that's
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh.
We learned that the hard way
You know?
when we worked with ATI to put together a promo for you guys, and they wanted us to do a little acting. You know, for
When?
part of the
What
promo.
was this?
Gee, that was a while ago.
Oh
and
my God!
Yeah,
what
that
was
was-
it was for stepping
Little
out
teasers
with my baby.
for, I can't remember.
Oh
And-
my gosh! Wait a minute! Wait
Yeah.
a minute! It's all
Stepping out.
coming.
We
hold
did it
on.
once
Stepping
before
out
for,
of
Oh my gosh! It's all coming back to me. Okay, hold on.
then we all lip synced
It
New
was-
York, New York
Right.
once.
It was
That was a
either-
different show.
That was
though.
the second.
for
that
the
was the first one.
Sinatra. It was either for My Way. We did
Mhm.
My Way in the Studio Theater, the Sinatra show, and the other one could have been for Cole, and we did the Cole Porter,
All I
or
know
or I Love a Piano, the Berlin. I don't know.
All I
Yeah.
know is they just
But
wanted
yes.
us to kick our legs
Yes.
out coming down some steps.
Yes,
and
I
we
remember
could
that.
Not
We
do
couldn't
it. We tried. They finally said, let's try something different. So we now
Oh my
realize
God, I
when you see
remember
these
that
people
now.
dancing around on these sets, it is not an easy accomplishment at all. And we weren't
Yeah.
even singing at the time. We were just
Yeah.
trying to kick our
Yeah. And I think that's why we've
I
always
remember
been
that.
supportive of the arts because we were denied any and all talent
Yes,
in that
we have
regard.
no talent now.
And we know how unbelievably
But
difficult
now we
it is.
really appreciate it.
Oh my
Guys.
God! You're over. God, I completely forgot about that
Yeah.
promo.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty
And that-
funny. I
yeah,
think
and
the
that was
mayor,
fun.
well, like was in
The
front of
mayor
the
was in-
Palladium
Yep,
or something.
exactly.
Yes, my
Mhm.
gosh, that was a good pro. God, this company should do that again.
Yeah, that was
That's
fun.
a
It was
really fun idea.
And everyone enjoyed doing it.
That's what-
Yeah, everybody gets it. You get into it because it's
Yeah.
it's just exactly. It's fun for the people to do.
Which is kind of what this evening next week's going to be like. You have a
Right.
chance to be
Yeah.
a little bit of acting without having to worry about memorizing lines or
No, because you just make up your own.
yes,
Yeah.
or worry
Mhm.
about
You're
getting
sad
to the
living.
right
Yeah.
point at the
Uh-huh.
right time.
Of
yeah.
course, that's what it means. It just makes it fun for people who are not in the business.
It's
But
just
they
a
can
sense of what you
because
guys could-
every don't
Halloween.
every-
Yeah, it was Halloween.
Yeah.
because you don't have to be
Be
yourself.
some, yeah.
Mhm.
You're not yourself. You're not.
Yeah, you be
you
someone
get
else
a
for a
chance to be
night.
someone else, right? When we
Mhm.
do it all the time,
Right.
you know. But for people who are not in the business, yeah, it's you can't deny it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Really
It is.
And I like
Yeah.
Halloween.
Mhm.
I like it, and
Oh, yeah,
I dress up all the time for my
Mhm.
business, but I still like Halloween. You know,
It's a great holiday.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Sometimes I'm actually in rehearsal, so I don't get to.
Really?
You know, yeah,
That's
yeah.
too
Don't
so
forget the
I'm-
candy.
No,
Don't forget
God,
the
I don't
candy.
need that.
The
I'm
big
like,
thing
get
about
that out of the
candy
house.
night.
Oh my God. I'm like, get rid of it. Tell the kids to take it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, they can
great.
take handfuls if they want, as far as, you know,
It's the
I'm
best time.
concerned.
Yes.
So, okay, so you grew up in Cincinnati, but you don't know each other in Cincinnati.
Correct. Correct.
So then you came to Indiana.
Right.
How
And we
the
met here
at school or
because we were
something?
part. No, we were part of the team that launched Nouveau, the weekly newspaper, all those years, back in the 80s.
Nouveau.
I worked for
Yes.
the agency. I was
Okay.
Maggie was with
heading up the account at the agency.
MZD,
Okay.
which was our ad agency. And I
Okay.
headed up the marketing and advertising for Nouveau,
Okay.
and that's how we met.
That's how we met. Yeah.
Just saw her, you were like, that's my gal.
Yeah, that's
I was
right.
like, who's that guy in that slick blazer? Look at those shoes. My God.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So
you
we've been
a
having
long
fun
ways.
ever since.
Yeah,
so
ever
you,
since then.
you meet and you're like, then
We owned a newspaper down in Greenwood.
We lived in Indianapolis at the time we met. So
Right, but we always lived up north,
North,
yes.
so northern Indianapolis.
Right, that's right.
Then you had a paper in
And then-
Greenwood.
Right, in Greenwood, and great people, and
Yeah.
we had a ball down there.
Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, the company started in 1986, sold it in
Okay.
96
Oh,
to
all right, well,
Central Newspapers,
Okay.
which owned the Indianapolis Star at the time, the Arizona Republic, and it was a big company at the time.
Yeah.
And so then we decided, look, we wanted a larger home, and so we ended up in Carmel, and realized Carmel just didn't have a decent newspaper. And that kind of planted the seed, and then eventually I met Steve.
Yeah, how did you and Greenberg?
No.
'Cause you guys are so different.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
which is great.
yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, and
You're
that's how it
two
works.
completely different people.
Right.
Like, how did you hook up with him?
Well,
Right.
Steve, I'd actually met him, just vague recollections, because he was sports editor for the Indianapolis Star.
Okay.
And my best friend, Mark Ambrogi, you know Mark,
Yeah,
he's our entertainment
right,
editor
right.
at Nouveau.
Nouveau.
Current.
God.
Sorry, Mark.
It's an age.
And-
It's an age thing.
Yeah, it's an age thing. And
It's a mid-senior moment.
yeah.
That's what I.
Ron Carter, who was president of the city council
right.
at the time,
Okay. Yeah.
was talking to Steve, and Steve said, I'm trying to, I'd like to launch this. Oh, yeah, I do. I've met him before. And he says, well, he's working on a parallel deal himself.
Well, okay.
You guys ought to meet and talk.
And you
so-
got along.
Yeah.
We
and
both
so-
nice guys.
right. And
you
so
know.
we did, and
Yeah.
and then the rest, as they say, is
Yeah,
history. So
yeah,
we launched
yeah.
in October of '06.
Yeah.
And then
And
it
it's
just-
going, and it's growing, and it's going, I mean, listen, and you get this every week. It's in your mailbox every
Yeah.
Tuesday.
And it's free.
It's in your mailbox, and it's free.
Right.
I read it as, it doesn't matter how busy I am, even if I put it aside, if I can't read it on that day. I read it every week. Every week
Okay,
I
we
read it.
appreciate that.
Because I grew up with a town paper.
Yeah.
And my parents always got the town paper, and I would read.
And
Yeah.
Especially as you get older.
Yeah, and community newspapers actually, even though newspapers have had a rough go of,
yeah.
it's primarily the big city dailies that have really struggled. The
Yeah.
community newspapers have pretty much hung in there. Because
Yeah.
all we talk about
'Cause
is
that's
your
what-
community.
Right, you're like, my kid's in there.
Right.
What's
So-
going on? There's
Shows,
Right,
so you
I
can
mean,
find out what's coming up.
exactly.
Yeah, we
So
cover the news that you really want and need to know.
all
Right,
the
yeah.
news that's
So if
Not
you
all
want to
the
read
national
about,
print.
stuff.
yeah,
the stuff
so
that
if you want to
affects
read about the results of the Iowa caucuses and stuff, well, there are thousands of websites you can go to. We don't get
Right.
involved in any of it.
right.
We just talk about the local elections.
Well, yeah, that was
So,
that was pretty
and,
big.
and so, yeah.
It is. It is. I mean, I enjoy it, and I like the people that write their little, like Daniel Lewis and Wilson.
Wilson,
She
oh,
writes
yeah,
her,
Danielle.
little thing.
Oh,
the other
yeah.
guys, and then of course you got Dick Wolfsey.
Dick Wolfsey
He's
is
got his stuff in
hilarious.
there, hilarious.
He really is.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's hysterical.
Yeah.
And so I always get a kick out of his column, of course, and Danielle, and even after still the same. You don't this is what I like. You don't gloss over. You're like, you know what? That person had something to say. That's not what it's about. It's about
Right.
that person's voice being heard, and they're disagreeing with this person, and this person's like, no, you know, I mean, it's a debate.
Right.
You know, it's all, everything's debatable, and so I like that. You know,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I
everyone-
would say most people are very civil about it too. They don't do it in an attacking fashion or want to cancel you because you don't agree with them.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty civil.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the paper always allows you to have your voice.
Oh, and there are plenty of letters in
Yeah.
there to the editor.
Even if you want to rip us. Like Steve and I used to do a column, I don't know if you
listen,
remember years ago.
there are some that
Oh, yeah.
say that stuff. Opinion,
Right.
and I'm sure the paper probably gets more than they can even. put
Yeah,
in
things that we
print.
we don't have the room for,
Yeah.
we just post online.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the role of the local newspaper.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
great because I read them. I'm like, some of them, like, oh my god. I'm like, holy mackerel, you know.
Right.
But I'm like, good for Karen for putting it in the paper, you know.
Yeah, they're having the
You know,
courage to step up and share their opinion, yes.
Well, right,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, Karen, it's not like my way or the highway. You know, you guys, the paper is open
Right.
to everyone's opinion,
Yeah.
and I, you don't have to like it, but
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Really, it's kind of like that thinking of, news is what our readers say it is. And that's why, going back to before we launched, we conducted research to find out what is it that you'd like to see in your local newspaper.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
that
great.
really formulated our editorial plan.
Wow.
So it was a bottom-up approach
Yeah.
to content, as opposed to like the big city papers.
Yeah.
It's a top-down approach. They
Right.
just decide they're going to cover certain things just because their editors want to. It
Right, right.
doesn't matter if the readership is interested or not.
Okay.
It's just going to run.
Yeah,
That's all.
I think
right,
we
right.
always did a pretty good effort to make it more about the people and not about our own opinions and stuff. Because I think you're right, a lot of news broadcasting or whatever today tend to get away from that. They see it as a place to voice their way of seeing the world, but forget about that's not the way everybody thinks. Yeah.
Right, sure, yeah.
I mean, nobody trusts the media, national media anymore.
Oh,
I mean, it's sad.
It is sad because
But
there's so many
it's where
things
we-
you don't know what to believe, and everybody's like, fake news.
Right.
And you're like, oh, yeah.
It's all fake news.
Like, what is it, all fake news
Right.
now? Right,
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
call it
Yeah.
spews.
Yeah, we-
Speculative news. They're more of a speculation
Yeah.
than it is anything.
you know, I know.
Bizarre
Spews.
times in which we live, yes. I mean, I can still remember when you'd read something. I saw it on the internet, read it on the internet. So take it for what it's worth, right?
Right.
Well,
Now they're like, I saw
now
it.
it's like, well, I saw it in the Washington
It's
Post,
true.
so take it for what it's
Oh,
worth. but-
or I saw it on the internet and it's true.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it's on the
Right,
internet,
and
it's
it is
true.
true.
It's got to
Yeah,
be true. It's on
sure.
the internet. Yes.
Right. So it's just like there's a lot of news out there,
Yeah.
but I think the power of community newspapers, though, is, I mean, we walk up and down Main Street. So if we're doing something wrong, I mean, we're neighbors here. I mean, they're going to tell us.
There's access to you. You're
Right.
accessible. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a grassroots kind of a thing. You live here and you started it, you know. Back in my hometown in New Jersey, the editor is her father. She was a classmate of mine. We went through junior high and high school together, same homeroom. And her father was the editor, and then she took over. So she's the
Wow,
editor. She
okay.
took over
Really
for her
a family-run business.
It
huh?
is,
That's
and
pretty
cool. Great.
she took over, and she's the editor now, and she's smart. She was always smart. You know, she was always highly intelligent and a good student. So it's run. You know, she's an intelligent person.
Yeah.
So the paper is run by a highly intelligent editor. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
it's a decent paper. You know,
Now, does it just cover the Livingston area?
just covers
Okay, it's a
covers
local
Livingston.
community
It's-
newspaper.
well, it's called the West Essex Tribune, and Essex County is
Okay.
where Livingston is. But yes, it is all town news. You know,
Yeah, and that's why it keeps
same
going.
same building they've had for years.
Really? That's great.
Yep, same building,
great.
hasn't changed. Yeah. So I mean, she's done stuff. I've asked her, to do stuff before. Can you maybe put that in there? Or
Yeah.
can you put, and she'll, because she'll go above and beyond and make a big splash and,
Yeah.
but
That's great.
but there's nothing like getting to me, there's nothing like just getting a paper and reading a paper.
Yeah.
You're reading
That
the paper.
tactile experience.
You're reading the paper, whether it's whatever paper you like to read, who cares? You're reading the paper. I love and whether it's the New York Times, but I don't know, I just love going through the paper. That's why every
Yeah.
week I just like going through the current. You're holding it in your hand,
Right.
you
yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there, and so there's something
Yeah.
about that is comforting to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like you said, on Sundays, at least in the old days when the big city papers were just, this
You really
thick,
had
right?
all the inserts.
And you could just spend all morning,
Right.
coffee in hand, just going
Exactly.
through, and it was just,
Exactly.
that was how you kind of started your
Exactly.
Sunday, and it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
My favorite were the comics.
Oh, I love the funnies, right?
What can I say?
The comics, the funnies. I mean, I'd get home Sunday from church and sit down and read the funnies,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
And peanuts were always on the front. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
High and Lois, the
High
family,
and
the
Lois.
family
Family
circle,
circus.
circus, Beetle, Bailey. Oh yeah, all
the
those.
classics. Yeah, all the classics.
Right.
I
The
remember
good
all
old
those.
days.
Yeah.
Good old days.
And
I
it's
know.
still a fun business. It's changed, as you can imagine, quite a bit.
There's no. I mean, I can again imagine
Yeah.
how much it's changed.
Right.
Yeah.
And the cost structures, it
The
costs so
pricing.
much to print and mail nowadays
Yeah.
compared to what it was in
Yes.
06.
Yes, and the paper too. I'm sure is
Yeah,
more
it's just gone
expensive.
through the
Yeah.
through the roof,
Yeah.
through the roof.
Yeah. But I'm glad that Current is still alive and going, and there are that good. Or I look at it on my Kindle.
Right. Mhm.
I want
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
book.
I want a
Me
book.
too.
That's I want to have it in
Seems
my
more
hand. I wanna-
personal or
Yeah,
something. It's more
mhm.
personal. about
Right, it's yours. You can you're
Yeah.
holding it.
If I want
If
to highlight
you,
something,
you
I
went,
can highlight
you
it.
got it. It's the covers, the
Yeah, sure.
smell of the book. You can inscribe if you give it as a gift. You're inscribing it.
Yeah.
I just love
we
that.
check out books all the time at
The
the
library.
Carmel
That's
Library,
good, yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
For the
great.
yeah.
first time ever, we actually go to the library.
And it's
Yeah,
all
we now have
swanky
time.
now.
Yeah,
It's
very
a
nice. It's a very
incredible
nice library.
facility.
Oh, it's
and
all
everyone
swanky
is
and beautiful.
friendly and helpful.
Oh,
in there,
absolutely. Liz
and
Hamilton is,
Yeah.
Liz, she's
Just-
like
it's a
one
great-
of the head honchos over there.
Yeah.
She's great.
They do a
It's just
fantastic job.
tremendous.
They make it very convenient to
Yes.
check out and return books.
It's so nice now. They have that coffee. They have Java House
Oh,
over there.
yeah.
Everything's
This is great.
It's really
What else do you want?
really
right?
nice, I know. I mean, libraries are kind of comforting anyway.
Yeah.
And
All the
that one
books.
is just,
Yeah.
they've made it very bright with all those windows now.
Yeah.
Very
I
nice.
still
It's
hold
fantastic.
meetings there. It's a great place.
Yeah,
for
I
meetings.
think ATI has their board meetings there, and ATI also does the,
That's right. They have boardrooms that you can use. Yeah.
Yeah, ATI does that, and then also the Theater Lab series is held there now with the new works.
Yeah.
The readings
Mhm.
are done there. So
Incredible
that's a
facility.
nice little partnership they have.
Yeah.
ATI has
Mhm.
with the library. It's
Community
really
gem,
nice.
no doubt, like
Yeah.
ATI.
And we finally get to
Very
utilize
kind.
it.
Yeah. So we're getting our books.
That's
Actually,
right.
it was funny because when we realized we were going to be retiring, we had time. I still had my old library card, so we went when they were over at the Marsh place.
Right.
And I asked them, I still have this old card. Oh, we don't use those anymore.
Yeah.
I said, we haven't used those in years.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that
You
shows
felt
my
so
age.
old. Yeah.
What?
We actually had to get new cards. Yeah. it's
Yeah.
new,
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
pretty
God.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that it
but you
is.
always had your library card. I had mine.
Yes.
I even had I had one from the New York Library.
Mhm.
God, is it still in my wallet? I think it might be.
Yeah.
And
Talk about an incredible facility.
oh,
New
that's
York Library, my
exceptional,
gosh.
exceptional. I still when I'm home in the city, I'll pop in there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's just incredible. And it's always, you know, it's right there at Lincoln Center too. So
Mhm.
you know, part where I go, we go to the Lincoln Center one, which is where all the artists go because they have well, back in the day, if you know, to hear the cast recording of a show, and if you didn't have it,
Mm-hmm.
like if you didn't have the album, you know, or if you didn't want to go buy the CD,
Mm-hmm.
you had to go to the library and listen to it.
Yeah.
You check out the album,
Mhm.
you put their headphones on, and you get familiar with it. If you're going, you know, if you need to know that show, or if you was going to an audition for that show and you didn't know it,
Mhm.
that's how you had to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, it's
I
great.
mean,
Like-
so there at Lincoln Center they have that portion of
Mhm.
the library, and then the big one is yes, I went to the one at Lincoln Center much more because of that reason.
So
But
where's the main
The
one?
main one with the lions
Mm-hmm.
is hold on, it's not on 6th, it's not on, is it on, hold on, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, God, it's somewhere right there, right
Okay.
around it, like 8th, 7th, it's like, you know what I mean, like 6th or 7th, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm not real familiar.
No,
with
I
that.
know,
Yeah.
but that one is just so huge,
Yeah.
and it's lovely, you
Mhm.
know, but you know, you have to go to the specific where you're going, you know,
Yeah,
to know specifically what section you're
Mhm.
going to go to. Yeah, it's really,
Yeah,
that one's
Gotta
really, that
pack
was
a
really,
lunch to go through.
no,
that place.
yeah, exactly, that was really cool. And during Christmas, they used to have a really cool little, it wasn't a Christmas market, but it was kiosks. It was
Okay.
kiosks.
Mhm.
Oh, so
Right.
you could shop?
Right, oh yeah,
Oh,
great
man.
kiosks, only at Christmas time, right, on the, behind the library, right on
Mhm.
the other side, on the other, whatever avenue that was, oh God, I can't believe I can't remember. But great stuff,
Yeah. So
great
how long,
stuff.
So how long did you live there?
Well, I grew up there, so I was always in the city.
Okay.
So,
Stomping grounds.
you know, always. But I started subletting in like 95, 96. I started subletting. I got back from Europe. I did the European tour of My Fair Lady.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was taking all these really long gigs,
Mhm.
6-month cruise ships, 6-month tours, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, apartment yet after I graduated from
Mhm.
college.
Yeah.
I was constantly somewhere.
Mhm.
And then I
What
got
a great
back,
experience.
then I got back from Europe and I'm like, okay, I probably gotta get an apartment, you know?
Mhm.
You look for the next gig and you gotta, you know, I'm not gonna stay with my parents in
Gotta sleep
Jersey.
somewhere.
So that was
Oh.
lovely, it was great, you know, I could,
Yeah.
but no, you
Been
know,
to-
you know what I
We've been to
mean?
Jersey, saying,
You know, it's just that you don't wanna, I did.
I have family that lives in Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I
Family.
did do that for a while when I was younger, when I was in college, of course, and
Mhm.
just, I did. But, I just started subletting. Long time until
Moved here?
until we started the company here.
Mhm.
Great apartment, great, excellent, up near the cloisters, near Fort Tryon Park, beautiful area
And
in Manhattan.
whereabouts is that?
It's right up 190th Street. The
Okay.
A up there. The A goes all the way to 207th.
Mhm.
And yeah, you take the A, and the Cloisters is up there. It's part of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the Rockefellers bought.
Mhm.
And they do you know the unicorn tapestry? It's the unicorn. That's there. It's
Okay.
very famous. That's
Wow.
there. There
Okay.
are tombs. And all the buildings are, yeah, they brought all this over and made it the museum, and it's like walking into a castle. You know, it's like walking into medieval times. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And the gardens around it, Fort Tryon Park, the gardens are absolutely stunning, beautiful gardens.
Yeah.
And Bette Midler there was a building there that was abandoned for a long time. When I first moved up there, the building, I thought, God, this building is so cool. It's totally abandoned and empty, and got married there. Actually, they hold events.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
little
a great
restaurant,
place,
but
yeah.
but it's lovely. And so the park is just, it's just really a cool place. You stand right on the Hudson, you look at the GWB, you know,
That sounds nice.
right on the Hudson there. It's a great view.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice. You know, bigger apartments. It was,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If I ever got an apartment again, I would. That's where I would look.
Is it?
I
Okay.
would never ever go anywhere else on the island. It's just so great. And the A train, just take it down, boom,
Yeah.
skip stops and express, right
Yeah.
down.
Well, that whole area is
circle.
still,
You know,
I know lots of cities are having problems, and New York has its,
Oh.
but still.
they'll always
when
have
you-
their problems.
Right, but when
They'll
you
always
think,
have problems. It's a
right.
city.
But when
There'll
you
always
think
be
of
problems.
like the museums, I mean, they benefit, you know, that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tremendous wealth in the city.
Yeah.
And there's a real benefit, though. I mean, I know everyone's kind of supposed to badmouth, I think, wealthy people anymore, but when you look at what wealthy
it's-
people have done
Yeah.
to give back is pretty extraordinary.
I mean, like I said, you know, like mentioning those big tycoons, the Rockefellers or
Right.
the Carnegie or, you know,
Right.
J.P. Morgan or.
Speaking of libraries, the Carnegie
Right,
libraries and
right.
all that, sure.
And so it's like, yeah, they were, you know, they weren't the greatest people, Vanderbilt sometimes, but their money built some really incredible institutions. And
Yeah.
the money that they gave to those institutions has benefited many people. And so, yeah, you have to balance that out always, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad and
Well,
good
plus,
for
they made
everyone.
all that money pre-income tax.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Can you imagine?
What
Yes.
they were raking in?
Keep it
and,
on you.
and the people that work for them were making
Those,
2
yeah,
cents,
early in the
1
18
cent.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I can
God,
imagine
know.
keeping everything I earned would be kind of a
Oh,
nice
Yeah.
thing,
my
nice,
God.
nice welcome change.
But yeah.
yeah, right. But,
But
oh
like
my
the
gosh.
Rockefellers and the Vanderbilt, they
That's-
made all that wealth before income taxes.
I know.
So it's
I
just,
know.
so it's no surprise they could build those
Of course.
Newport mansions.
Oh,
you know,
oh!
that
If
they
you ever been
use
that
for,
Newport,
for 6 weeks
those
out of the year.
places
Yeah.
are
we went
incredible.
up there
You went
once.
there.
Yeah,
and
but,
it's-
oh my God! I was on tour and we were rehearsing in Rhode Island actually, and
Beautiful
before
area.
tour, and we went. And it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, Rhode Island's nice anyway. Well, we're getting off on a
Okay.
tangent.
Yes, we
I
are.
know. I know.
And I have to
We're
wrap
having
this up
too
because
much
I have to
fun,
get back
too
to
much
rehearsal.
fun.
I am in
Okay.
rehearsal for Route 66, ATI's next show. I'm directing and choreographing that show, and it's an incredible cast, 4 powerhouse guys. And
Fantastic.
it's really a great show. Opens February 2nd at the Studio Theater. For tickets, just go to our website, atistage.org, or you can call the box office, 317-843-3800, and get tickets. It's such a fun show. It's all the music from like early, or like kind of like later 50s, Chicago, all the way through out to California to the Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, Paul Revere and the Raiders. It covers a real
Yeah.
span of
Incredible
a
show.
ton
Yeah, it's
of
a great
music, and these 4 guys are
Incredible.
really incredible. So I'm very lucky to be directing them. So come see it. It's just a fun show, and the music's
You'll love it.
incredible.
You'll love
and
it.
their voices are great. So thank you so much, Brian
Thank
and
you,
Maggie
Cindy.
Finelli.
Thank
Thank
Cindy.
you.
We look forward to seeing
And,
you a week from this Friday.
Yes,
It's a big fundraiser.
yes, the
Yeah, big
fundraiser for
fundraiser.
ATI at Bash over at Merchant Square. So you can go to atistage.org for that too. Tickets are probably on 23 other people.
Thank you.
Toodaloo.
Thank
See you next week.
Maggie will be hosting.
That's right. That's right.
Bye.
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 Well, that was fun.